The Love and Scrubs series reminds us that love doesn't always happen when everything is calm. Sometimes love happens right in the middle of the chaos. My name is Raquel. I talk about all things Black books. Welcome and welcome back. In today's video, we are talking about Love and Scrubs, which is a 5-book series by multiple authors. Let's get into it. The first book is Fever. Now, Fever is a book that I talked to you about before. It is by Kimberly Brown. It is the first book that I read in the series. This is a great book, totally 5 stars, about a young lady who has to be taken from her home with her father at the age of about 16. He is having some mental issues, so they are experiencing his hoarding, and it is because of his grief. He is stuck in a space where his wife passed away. So the daughter goes and lives with her aunt, stays there till she goes to college, graduates from college. She stays away until her father passes away. Now she has to come home and take care of his business. She comes home to take care of the business. She goes to Ambrose Hospital where her father is. She meets the pathologist who has taken care of her father's body. This pathologist, he recognizes that she has some issues, maybe some anxiety, or, he knows that there is something wrong, and he kind of, just wants to be there for her, talk with her. He is patient, understanding, kind. He is everything that she needs in order for her to move through this phase in her life. And I enjoyed this book so much. It kind of hits home a little bit. I knew somebody when I was growing up that you barely could see their front door. And as a kid, you don't really know what it is. I just used to wonder why she had all the stuff on her porch. So after reading this book, and of course doing a little bit of research, I feel like as an adult, I can have compassion because I understand that it's not laziness or, whatever people might think it is. It is a condition. And so that is one of the reasons why I love this book, other than it is just a really, really good story. And then book number 2, which is Stat by Aisha Bree. Now, this is my first time ever reading anything by Aisha Bree. This one doesn't have an underlying story, but the story is good. So it is about a single father. Excuse me. So this story is about a single father who lost his wife during childbirth, during or after childbirth. And so this child is, a little bit older now. It doesn't say exactly how old she is. She may be maybe 10, 12, I don't know, something like that. And she goes to this summer program where other children who have lost their mothers in similar ways, where she can learn coping mechanisms. She can, talk and play with other kids who are having the same kind of issues as she is. So Dr. Wilder and this young lady meet in a bar, have a one-night stand, never expect to see each other again. He goes to pick up his daughter from this grief counseling summer program thing, and he bumps into that young lady that he had the one-night stand with, and they kind of recognize each other, and, they're trying to decide how they want to act on this, but they're getting to know each other. Come to find out, this is her center, and she is also a person who lost her mother during or after childbirth. And so this is a really good story. I liked it. I didn't really, well, I guess the underlying, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. The underlying theme in this is Black women's mortality rate. I'm so sorry. It is Black women's mortality rate. He is an obstetrician, and that is his main focus. Like, whenever his moms to be are having problems and issues and things like that, he is at their attention immediately. He is addressing their concerns. And that's one of the problems they wind up having in their relationship, is because he tells her that they're going to do something, but because he is so attentive to his patients, he winds up leaving her hanging. And so they have to work that out. This was a great story. I totally enjoyed it. Um, and I'm really, really glad that this particular issue was addressed. Like, this, some of the stuff that they talk about in these books blew me away. The hoarding, the Black women's mortality rate during childbirth. Like, I love that. How many times are you, I'm like, how many places are you going to hear about this stuff? And these are things that people need to know about. So I totally love these two stories. And then the next one, which is Remedy. And I do apologize. This one does not have an underlying theme. It does, but it isn't one that's front and center. So those things were definitely front and center with those. They kind of led the story with those. With this one, I feel like this one is more so about the romance. So you have this orthopedic surgeon who is a ladies' man. His character is based on Malcolm Jamal Warner's character in The Resident. And so he is arrogant, he is cocky, he is fine, and he is good at what he does. So he is being sued for malpractice. This one of his patients is suing him, and he doesn't feel like it's necessary because he doesn't feel like there's anything wrong. He knows he's good at what he does. He fixed this guy's hip or whatever it was. And so he's not really worried about it. He feels like it's a nuisance. So the attorney comes in, who is, what is her name? Yara, is it Yara? Her name is Skylar Wise, and she is an attorney. And she comes in, and he's annoyed because she has canceled his surgeries, and he doesn't want to be there. And he knows that there's nothing wrong with the guy, but like I said, he's arrogant. He's sure of himself, a lot of things. So when she comes in, he's used to women sort of falling at his feet and people being submissive to him. That is the kind of attitude that Malcolm Jamal Warner sort of had. He was arrogant, but he was good at it. He wasn't like that ladies' man kind of thing, but this particular guy is. So she comes in, and he's trying to give her that little, nasty attitude that he gives everybody else. And she just lets him know, hey, you might be a boss, but let me tell you, I'm good at what I do as well. Not only am I a boss, but today I am the boss. And you need me, I don't need you. So we could do it one of two ways. You can let me help you, or I can just let the hospital do what they're going to do. And so he decides that he wants to let her help him. But not only that, he also decides that he likes the feistiness in her. And so they start, spending time together because they have to go over these depositions. And so they wind up spending a lot of time together until, they kind of start doing these deposition in places that you wouldn't normally do business. And so it's really good. I liked it. I wish that there was something happening in this book, some underlying thing like the other one, because it is a hospital. So I don't know, I guess I wanted some sort of medical emergency, and there really wasn't in this book. And so then we have Rounds by Monica Walters. This one starts out immediately with spice. They are going at it on page one. That is not my thing. So I was a little bit annoyed by it. And under different circumstances, I would have DNF the book. I like to work into my spice. I don't like to just jump into it. But because I knew I wanted to read the entire series, good or bad, I went ahead and read it. And so I was annoyed by that, but it was not a bad book. I was just annoyed at the fact that it started the way it did. So you have Glover Israel, who is the hardest working man in America. He is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like an ER doctor. Excuse me. He's an ER doctor and he works a lot. He works his shift, he works extra shifts, he works overtime, he works a lot. So his mother and father was in a car accident. His father survived, but they didn't have any insurance. So he takes care of his father out of his pocket. So he works a lot. So you have this young lady whose name is Delaney Boutte. And Delaney works at the hospital. I think she has some sort of job, maybe like a social worker or something. She's not a doctor, but she works in the hospital, so they work together. She knows who he is, he knows who she is. He has a reputation for being a ladies' man. He doesn't want a relationship. He just wants to do his thing when he wants to do his thing, and that's it. And so Delaney has a boyfriend, and she is upset because she just found out that her boyfriend has not been faithful. She decides that she's sick of it and she's going to leave. She's trying to have a conversation with him. They're going back and forth, and she decides, I'm leaving. And he says, leave your key or something like that. And she's like, I'm coming back. He's like, no, you're not coming back here. Take your stuff with you. So it turns out that when she gets ready to move into her apartment, she they push the date back, and so she can't move into her apartment. She doesn't have anywhere to live, and this is like overwhelmingly frustrating for her. If I had to give this one a underlying theme, it would probably be stress and depression, and you would have to look for it because it isn't out front like the other books. But she was extremely stressed out, and Dr. Glover wanted to help her and she kept refusing. She has friends at the hospital. She literally refused everybody's help and she just continued to go through this thing. Like she had this thing where she felt like um I can take care of myself. I don't need any help. I don't need anyone to do anything for me. I can handle this by myself. And so maybe that's the underlying thing, the trust issue with this guy. She had some bad dealings with men before this guy, and so this one was supposed to be different. So after him, it really took a very heavy toll on her to break up with him, for him not to be trustworthy, for him to cheat on her, and she just really didn't want to lean on anybody, didn't want anybody's help. But Dr. Glover just took charge after a while, after seeing her struggle and be stressed out and just over all of these things happening. He just took over. And I really liked that he did that. Not only that, I wish he had done it sooner, but you can only do what you know. And so initially he didn't know. But they wind up being in close proximity where they get a chance to actually get to know each other. He is attracted to her, she's attracted to him, but she is still afraid. So he has to pretty much prove himself to her, and he does. It's a really good story. I just didn't like the fact that it started out so spicy, like came in a little too hot for me. And then we have book number 5, which is Crash by Simone. Now, this is my first book by Simone, and I enjoy this book. This book is about PTSD. You have a woman firefighter. That's number one, woman firefighter. Love it to death. She has a teenage son who is feeling himself. If anybody have teenagers, you know, around that 14, 15-year old, they start turning into Godzilla or somebody. And so she's having a hard time with her teenage son. She is a single parent, and they're on their way somewhere and they get into a car accident. They go to the hospital. Her son is hurt more than she is hurt, and he needs physical therapy. Once they meet the physical therapist, who is Dr. Malik Holloway. So her name is Sumitra, and Dr. Holloway is the therapist to her son, but Dr. Holloway kind of immediately decides that he wants Sumitra to be his woman. Now, this particular book, it is about PTSD because after the car accident, you can tell she has PTSD. She has anxiety. She is like really jumpy. Sometimes she gets lost in her own world. She is anxious. She is scared. So this one underlying story is PTSD. So Dr. Malik is he's got two sides to him, right? So this is kind of like a unhinged type of guy. He's not over the top unhinged, but he's definitely unhinged. He has decided that this is his woman, so immediately he kind of goes in, start calling her his woman, his family. He's talking like this is his family, his son, and he's just doing all the things, right? And her son Samaj father comes back into the picture, and he comes in kind of a little disrespectful. So Dr. Holloway, turns his hat around, not literally but figuratively turns his hat around and let the hood come out on him. And he hems him up and let him know, you're not going to be talking to my woman like this. And, you're going to get your act together or you going to get on. And I like that. I really like the fact that he loved her to the point. I mean, he just knew that he wanted her and he was willing to go the distance. Not only, just because he was doing these off the wall things, but he was really caring for her and her son. Um, then later on, they kind of have this thing, and he has to kind of get into it with her child's father, but he is also showing her son how to be a man. And he's never had a man in her life, in his life, her son, because it's always just been them two. So I like the fact that he comes in and he's playing daddy, or not playing daddy, but being daddy to this 17-year-old boy, and not in a way that he's like, you a little kid and I'm a grown man and you gonna do what I say. No, he's like, treating him like a young adult who's becoming a man. And I really, really like that. This was a great story. I loved it. So it had the urban romance, it had the hood element to it, and then it had the underlying PTSD. I was like, oh my God, she just blew this out of the water. I most definitely have to read something else by C. Monet. I hope this is not a one off book. I'm looking forward to reading something by C. Monet. So that was the 5 books in the Love and Scrubs series. And I would like to know, do you guys want an underlying theme in your urban romance, or do you just want the urban romance? Like, forget all that, just show me the romance. So let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and do all of the YouTube things like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, see you soon.